Okay, so in another video, we've already showed you how to do the nail prep for your Jamberry wrap application. I just want to quickly go through a few steps in preparation to do my last nail here, so I can show you. When your sheet gets to you, it's going to look like this. There's going to be enough nail wrap applications for a couple of manicures and a pedicure. What I like to do is I take our scissors and I cut the sheet in half. Then I take the sheet after it's been cut in half and I find out which nail wraps I'm going to use. You just hold it over your nail and see which size you want. One of the key things to point out too is that it's better to go a little bit smaller than your nail bed than too big, because if you put a nail wrap on and it is overlapping onto your cuticle or your skin at all, it will lift, and you don't want that because then the nail wraps won't stay on. Okay, so sheet in half. Find the sizes you want. I like to cut each nail wrap out just like this. And then what I do is I fold it in half and I use my scissors and I cut it in half. So then I've got one for each hand. So that's what I've already done for this one. Now you don't want to touch the back of your wrap once you peel it off of the clear paper that it's on. So you don't want to get any oils on it. But what I do is I just barely lift it with my fingernail. So I'm just barely holding on to the wrap. And I peel the clear backing off. I prefer to use tweezers to grab my wrap. I grab it on the cut end. That'll be the straight edge of it. And I like to heat both my nail bed and the back of the wrap. And I heat it just until my wrap starts to curl. Then what you're going to do is, without getting it on your cuticle, you want to get it as close to that back cuticle as possible. And then I use my fingernail on my thumb to kind of lay the wrap down. And I also kind of pull on the end a little bit while it's still warm, just to kind of get a good smooth application. Then what I like to do is I have this rubber cuticle pusher, and I heat the nail wrap and the rubber cuticle pusher, and then I use this to go all around the edges and just kind of stamp down, pressing all those edges really well so that they adhere to the nail bed. Okay, so after I do that, I turn my hand over, take my scissors, and I cut off some of the excess. Now you don't want to cut clear down to your nail, and you'll see why here in a minute. So it's still a little bit long, and I just kind of fold it over just gently. Then I let the nail cool a little bit, just a few seconds. Take my Jamberry nail file, and in a downwards motion, I'm putting some pretty good pressure on this too. You're going to file down, around, back and forth on the nail, always in a downwards motion, until you see all that excess kind of perforate, until you can pull it off. Okay, there's just a little bit there in the corner, and you can either use your scissors to cut that off, or you can file it a little bit more. Then one of the things that I do, because I use my nails as tools all the time, I like to actually go at an angle and file just a little bit on that nail wrap so that it exposes just a silhouette of the tip of my nail. And what that does is it helps the tip of the nail wrap to not come up or lift at all when I grab something with those nail tips. And then I like to heat it one more time, and then just make sure that those ends are down. Heat is your friend with this though. You definitely want to make sure that they're well heated, both before application and after, because that adhesive on the back is heat activated. So that is Gilded Leopard, and I think I'm kind of in love.